Right, what's up guys, here on the PvPCentral channel. My name is James, because on the video here today. Today guys, I want to talk to you about a Q&A that was recently released by the Ghost Recon dev team, talking about the sabotage mode and some of the stuff that's going to be coming up in the near future for Ghost Recon Wildlands. I thought this would be something quite interesting to cover, especially since it's coming directly from the dev team. I think there could be some really interesting stuff in here. I have had a quick read over it, but I haven't read it sort of like in depth. The main theme of this is the sabotage mode that came in April, and it does show us some really interesting things in terms of motivations for the mode and why they went for it and all that sort of thing. So the first question asked is, where did the inspiration come from when you designed the Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands sabotage mode? And they said the idea of sabotage came to us around the time we released the extraction game mode. After we allowed the extraction method to settle a bit, we took a step back and looked at the data and analysed everything we had learned to this point between elimination, uplink and extraction. Obviously those were the three main game modes that were out at the time. They say, while we quite enjoy the free-form feeling of hunt or be hunted that elimination offers, some matches can end in uneventful draws due to both teams playing heavily static in a defensive manner. Whilst with both uplink and extraction, they wanted to add more structure and guidance to the matches and to incentivise teams to meet up and engage with each other. They believe they provided unique challenges to players, and that sabotage was sort of brought in to have a unique flavour of its own that is specific to Ghost War. So basically, they wanted to take the structured feeling of uplink and extraction and then use that and apply it to elimination. So they've taken elimination and put some more structure in. That's where they've got sabotage from. They said that sabotage is an attempt at bringing the best of both worlds together. An objective-based game mode where attackers have to make their move at some point, but the objectives themselves are not as critical as uplink, for example. I think that's quite interesting. I think it is interesting to look at that sort of thing and the reasons that they gave for coming together with these game modes. That is pretty good. They've really referenced Call of Duty quite a lot in this game. Well, not in this game, sorry. In this article. They said the sabotage seems to be a mixture of search and destroy with a bit of headquarters. Can you elaborate? That is very COD-esque. S&D and headquarters are pretty fan favourite games, especially search and destroy in Call of Duty. So I think it's really interesting that they have just flat out name dropped them. And they basically said that while elimination provided us with a perfect blend of tactical gameplay, whatever, they felt that it was a bit slow, basically, in places, and that by adding in objectives to an elimination-based game mode, it basically concentrates the gunfights a little bit more. They did that through both the design of the game mode and through the maps. They go on to elaborate slightly more in depth. They also said that they the main challenge that they faced was making sure it wasn't a typical three-lane map style. Especially having to do that with the open world that they used for all of the maps, but I still think it's a pretty good feature. So they basically said that the placement of the two objectives was really important. They wanted to make sure that the speed of which the attackers got to there and how the defenders could get to the objectives, all that sort of stuff, and lines of sight, everything. And they said observant members of our community were quick to point out that the maps in Ghost War take place inside the single-player campaign's world map. These maps were the foundation for our gameplay, which lends its own challenges in a PvP setting. With many of our maps, we see players taking 3 or more routes to an objective, but where it differs is that they're not limited in their initial choice, and they can adapt or react to any given circumstance. When we build our maps, we want to encourage and direct players in a way that feels more natural and dynamic, with the placement of objectives, ammo crates, and the outer boundary lines. Again, this is really interesting stuff. I think when you have questions and that sort of stuff about this sort of thing, people weren't massively keen on sabotage, so to see where the devs were coming from, I do think is quite interesting. They then go on to talk about classes that they think work the most efficiently for sabotage. I'm not going to go into that here. That is a more subjective thing, and I don't think it really fits in with the theme of the video. I could potentially do that if you so wish, just to give you guys some tips for sabotage. But the rest of this thing isn't quite as fitting in with the theme of motivation behind the thing. I think those questions that I've showed there are probably the most interesting ones here. But one thing that they have said here after the Q&A, which I find quite interesting, is that the Special Operation 1 is the first of 4 themed free content updates coming to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands in Year 2. We'll be releasing new content for both the PvE campaign and the PvP mode Ghost War throughout Year 2 for free for all players. Each free content drop will include community requested features, new themed missions and challenges for the PvE campaign, and new maps and playable classes for Ghost War PvP. Now, that is promising. It's kind of stuff that we knew and we hoped for, but that is really good to see a solid, hard affirmation of stuff that we really want to be coming to Ghost Recon Wildlands. With the PvE stuff, I'm going to focus on that a little bit. Community requested features, obviously that's a good thing. Stuff that the community have been asking for, being implemented, can't really argue with that. new themed missions, and I say missions, which suggests it's going to be a little bit more than just the community challenges, although they are going to be in there as well. So I think this genuinely could be pretty cool. Now we basically just need the update to come. I hope it comes soon. It should come this month. That certainly seems to be where we're heading towards. We should be getting the new content coming sooner rather than later. But anyway, guys, that has been the video for today. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it enjoyable. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. We've got loads of Ghost Recon Wildlands content on the channel. Our most recent video did insane. It's on over 3,000 views, guys, with about 50 likes or something like that, which is incredible. Thank you so much. The growth recently, again, has been insane. Considering there really hasn't been that much to talk about with Wildlands, the fact that we're still gaining subs really is absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much for that, guys. Anyway, that's it for the video. Yeah, I guess, as I said before, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.